Today we are going to discuss chemical properties of metal. As you know, metals are certain elements and they are made up of some atoms. And every atom has electrons which are revolving around the nucleus of the atom in some definite orbits. In class 8 and 9 you have got the octet rule. It says that every element in their atomic state always try to maintain 8 electrons in their outermost orbit to attain a stable electronic configuration. Metals always have 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons in their outermost orbit. In order to attain that stable electronic configuration, therefore, metals always release 1, 2 or 3 electrons. So the first chemical property of the metal is that metals are electropositive elements and they release 1, 2 or 3 electrons from their valence shell. For example, if we take sodium atom, it has only 1 electron in its valence shell, so it releases that electron and thereby get a stable electronic configuration and gets converted to sodium positive ion. Accordingly, magnesium, which has 2 valence electrons, have to release the 2 electrons, and you can see magnesium atom releasing the 2 electrons and getting converted to magnesium double positive atom. Such positive atoms of metals are called as cations. So the first property, I repeat, metals are electropositive elements and they release 1, 2 or 3 electrons from their valence shell. Now coming to the second chemical property of metal. Metals react with oxygen, means air, to form basic oxides. So metallic oxides are basic oxides. For example, sodium is a metal and it spontaneously reacts with oxygen to produce sodium oxide. Similarly, magnesium is another metal. It can react with oxygen, which means it bonds in oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. So we can see the metals like sodium and magnesium, they are reacting with oxygen and producing sodium oxide and magnesium oxide respectively, and both these metallic oxides are basic oxides. So the chemical property of metal, the second property is that metals react with oxygen to form basic oxides. Coming to the third property, metals react with water to form either metal oxide or metal hydroxide. Besides forming metal oxide and metal hydroxide, when metals react with water, they also produce hydrogen gas. We can take example like two metals we are taking, potassium and sodium. Potassium metal reacts with water, produces potassium hydroxide, hydrogen gas and heat. Similarly, sodium metal reacts with water, produces sodium hydroxide, hydrogen and heat. Here we can see the metals reacting with water, producing metallic hydroxide, hydrogen gas and heat. The most important thing is that both the metals like potassium and sodium, when react with water, this water is cold water. It means these two metals can spontaneously react with cold water. But now come to another two metals like magnesium and zinc. Magnesium is reacting again with water, producing magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Similarly, zinc is reacting with water, producing zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. In this case, magnesium and zinc, the two metals, when reacting with water, it must be hot water. It means potassium and sodium can react with cold water, but magnesium and zinc reacts with hot water. In all the four examples we have seen, the first three atoms, metals, potassium, sodium and magnesium, while reacting with water, producing metallic hydroxide. But the fourth one, zinc, while reacting with water, it did not produce metallic hydroxide but produced metallic oxide. That is to say, the metals when react with water, they form either metal oxide or metal hydroxide. We are taking the third example for iron. It is another metal can react with water to produce ferrosulfuric oxide and hydrogen gas. Interestingly, you will see here sodium and potassium reacting with cold water, magnesium and zinc were reacting with hot water, but iron will never react with cold and hot water, but it needs steam, vapor, and the iron should be red hot. It means that red hot iron reacts with steam and produces ferrosulfuric oxide and hydrogen gas. In all these 5 examples we have seen the third chemical property of the metal, which is when metals react with water, they produce either metal oxide or metal hydroxide along with hydrogen gas. We can see every time they are producing hydrogen gas. Coming to the fourth chemical property of metals. Metals react with dilute acids to form metal salt and hydrogen gas. For example, sodium metal reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid producing sodium chloride, which is a salt, and hydrogen gas. Magnesium is another metal reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid producing magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Aluminium, this metal is reacting with again dilute hydrochloric acid producing aluminium chloride and hydrogen gas. Zinc is another metal. It is reacting with dilute sulfuric acid producing zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. We have here taken 4 metals as example and 2 different types of acids like hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. Every time we have seen these metals reacting with these acids, producing these are the salts, and every time you can see hydrogen gas is produced. So this indicates the 4th chemical property of the metal, which I repeat, that metals react with dilute acids to form metal salts and hydrogen. Now overall, if we see what are the 4 different important chemical properties of metal, metals are electropositive elements. They release 1, 2 or 3 electrons from their valence shell. Metals react with oxygen to form basic oxides. Number 3, metals react with water to form metal oxide or metal hydroxide along with hydrogen gas. And the 4th chemical property, metal reacts with dilute acids to form metal salts and hydrogen gas. However, there are some exceptions. Metals like gold, silver, platinum, etc. They will never react with air, that is oxygen. Here we have seen. Then they never react with water. Here we have seen second property, metals react with water. And acids, we have seen here it is in third. Means gold, silver, platinum, these are the 3 metals. They never react with acid, they never react with water, they never react with air. Then you can see the second exception, the lead, copper, silver, gold. They never react with water. Mostly metals react with water, but these metals, these 4 metals, lead metal, copper metal, silver metal and gold metal, they never react with water. Third, silver and gold, these are the 2 metals, they even never react with dilute acids. So these are the exceptional metals which do not show these chemical properties of metal. Now if we see this exception, we will see every in 3, 2 metals are in common. They are gold and silver. You will see here also gold and silver, and you will see the third one also gold and silver. So gold and silver are the 2 metals which never react with water, they never react with air, they never react with acids. That is why they are called as noble metal. And probably you have therefore understood why only these 2 metals, gold and silver, are used to make ornaments. You will see in all these chemical properties, some metals are reacting with cold water, some metals are reacting with hot water, but some metals are reacting with steam. Why? The answer to that why, that indicates that all metals are not equally reactive. Some metals are more reactive, they can react with cold water. Some are a bit less reactive, they need hot water. Some are very less reactive, they need steam. And some are totally inactive, they never react. Depending on this reactivity, there is a series that is called as reactivity series of metal. And what is reactivity series of metal? We will discuss it in our next class. Thank you.